Hi. Today is Sunday, the 11th of March, at approximately 17:20. I'm in the bathroom. Still. But that's okay. This bathroom is nice. It's really purple. Okay, so... there are 3 things that I'm really excited about that are upcoming in this month, in the next 2 weeks. 3 weeks? I don't know. Whatever. Really soon. The first is that this quarter is almost over. This is just like, I chose a really bad program to take this quarter. Well, not bad. I mean, the description was fantastic. U.S. history and the exclusion. Actually, it is called Exclusion in America. Who Belongs? You can look it up online. I'm joking. It talks about U.S. history and particular populations that have been excluded throughout the course of history, and this land mass that we call the United States. So that's the first thing. The second thing I'm really excited about okay. MChA Conference, the National MChA Conference. Just saying it, it's like, I'm going. I bought my ticket last night. Some of my friends are flying. I don't want to go through that system as a trans person, so I've elected to go by Greyhound, which is always an adventure. I don't care if you're just going up to Seattle, it's always an adventure on the Greyhound. Anyways, so yeah, I'm really stoked about that. The workshops aren't available online, even though our one of our regional representatives shared the list with us. It was in like micro print, and I can't see that small, but I hope that there are good workshops, because the theme this year is mind, body, soul. So, and I'm really excited and kind of apprehensive for the resolution circle, which is where every person who's a machista gathers around this table and we talk. The resolution circle this year begins at 11, and I've been told that it can go until 11 p.m. or longer. So generally they're about 10 to 12 hours, and we just talk about issues. And I know one of the big issues this year that I will bring up, and also people in my chapter, this notion of queering space, or making MChA more friendly towards people who are queer, who identify as queer, anything under that queer umbrella, and who are LGBTQ. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I'm looking for. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of like gender identity and sexual orientation. Okay, so let's use those words. People who have a gender identity that is not represented, or what words am I looking for? Wow. People who have a targeted gender identity, or people who have a sexual orientation that is not considered normal. Gemini. Never at a loss for words, right? Okay. So that's something that I know it's going to be a really difficult discussion, because MChA has been checked throughout history. It started about 40 years ago. I want to say tentatively. I don't know the exact date. School me if you know. But about 40 years ago, and that was right during the, like after the civil rights movement, when, Black Panthers were coming up and the Brown Berets were coming up, and like the feminist movement was getting started. But we won't talk about that in this blog, because that is like 3 blogs altogether. My critique of the feminist movement. But yes, MChA and its, I guess just its framework has been checked for patriarchy a lot, and I know that we're going to have a really uncomfortable discussion. And I've been talking with a lot of my friends within this chapter, and also alumni of MChA, just about how we can begin to have that dialogue, because I can't just go up in there and be like, I'm a trans person, and I don't feel that you're accurately representing me, your language is exclusionary, and I don't feel this is a safe space. I can't do that, because, like, half the people probably won't know what trans means, and then I I get really caught up in the language, and I forget that not everybody has the benefit of the doubt, which is something that I need to really, really work on, because I exclude and alienate people if I use language that's too radical. I mean, I feel that everyone has the capacity to use radical language, but I cannot forget that I was at that space where I'm like, trans. What's that? So that's the second thing I'm really excited for. And then the third thing that I've been waiting a year for, un año, Queer People of Color Conference, which is taking place this year at Cal State Northridge. I'm just like, I'm so happy. I'm almost drooling. But I won't do that on video. I'll do that when I turn the camera off. I'm really excited because the framework seems really good, and this year I kept a little more in touch as far as what was going on. And something that was really interesting is that a machista goes to that school, and he's identifies as QPOC, and he was saying, oh, you went last year? Because I remembered him. We met last summer, and I was like, you were at the QPOC conference, weren't you? Because you look kind of familiar. I'm really great with names and faces, when it's important. And he was asking me, like, oh, so what kind of feedback do you have? And, like, the first thing I was saying was that the workshops, too short and not enough. They were too short in length, meaning that we barely got through gender pronouns and names before it was time to wrap up. We didn't really get a chance to delve into any of the content. And then also, there were, okay, so I don't know if I said too few or too many a few seconds ago, but there were too many offered at one time and too few that were really interesting, at least to me. IMO, but that's something that I shared with him, and he's like, definitely take that back to the committee. And I'm like, wait, what? Committee? He was like, yeah, it's taking place at my school, and I know the person who's the president. And I'm just like, do you want a name drop? Like, jeez, Cecile. Anyways, so yes, I'm really excited. The theme is very intriguing to me this year. 4-way intersections of race, gender, class, and sexualities. Ualities is in a bracket. I'm really interested. I was talking with one of my friends. She's a machista. She's also going to the QPOC Con, and I have to sneeze. An hour later, come on. There'll be about 2 more coming along. And I was talking to her, I was like, it's really interesting that they're only analyzing 4 identities that we carry. But then I was also thinking that I, again, forget that people aren't constantly thinking about their identities and how they intersect, because we may have people who are, still questioning. And it's like, well, how does my identity as Chicana intersect with my class, that intersects with my sexuality? It's just, and my gender. There we go. Just because you say Chicana does not mean, and it's, I don't know, it's really interesting. I'm excited, but I don't know. I've seen some of the workshops in name only. I don't know exactly what they're going to be delving into, but I'll be taking notes this year, unlike last, because here in the Pacific Northwest, we're hosting a MChA state conference, and we're going to have a section called QPOC 101. And we've been talking about that name. But anyway, so the gist of this workshop, it's a mandatory workshop. We're going to be discussing gender and sexuality on multiple levels. So we'll have a beginning level where people who maybe have never thought about the difference between gender and sex or haven't had the opportunity to explore the differences between gender and sex would be able to discuss it versus people who have some kind of working knowledge but, you know, maybe need a little help going to the next level. And then we have people who are radical and it's like, well, you know, I really want to talk about like the intersections of transgender identity throughout the ages. Like, let's just talk about the U.S., you know? And, you know, let's talk about the indigenous genders because there are more than just 2 worldwide. You know, I really want to, maybe let's focus on the 5 genders of Indonesia, you know? Like, let's go there. Let's go. Let's talk about the Chalalai and the Chalabai. But, yeah, I'm really excited. So I will have to be taking notes at this QPOC conference and also use that opportunity. So, okay, let's back up. So I have friends, some are machistas, some are not. They're all brown though. I don't have any black friends going to the QPOC con, although we're going to change that next year. Anyways, so my twin, their friend, they're doing a workshop. So the 2 of them are doing a workshop. Machista 1, Machista 2, Machista 3. And myself. So we have 6 people coming from my school this year. That's up from the 3 last year. Wow. Doing pretty good. Maybe next year we can bring even more. I would just like, okay. That's another block. But yes, so I definitely think with all of us going and all of our different levels of expertise and critical analysis that we'll definitely be able to bring things back and implement them at the state conference. The MChA State Conference. So I'm really excited about that. So just to review, the 3 things that I'm super stoked about happening in these coming weeks. At the end of the quarter, mercifully. The MChA National Conference that takes place in Phoenix. And then the Queer People of Color Conference that takes place in sunny Northridge, California. Yeah. I'm hella excited. Oh, and I feel that this is gonna sustain me for the rest of the year. Because right now I'm super stressed because I've been procrastinating. And then also, we're gonna be planning for the state conference. But we can do it. Si se puede, right? Siempre.